Hi, I'm King Charles of Spain. You may or may not know my parents, Ferdinand and Isabella of Spain, but for anybody who thinks I'm a Nepo baby, just know I go here to do my own work. But that doesn't matter because I'm looking to further Spain's influence and trade and make a lot of more money. So I'm here today to do that.
Hi, I'm Ferdinand Magellan. I was born and raised in Portugal around the year 1480 and the son of a minor noble. In 1505, I joined the Portuguese fleet sailing to East Africa. Soon, I found myself traveling across the Indian Ocean. I am a ferocious warrior, having fought in the Battle of Diu in 1509 and took part in capturing the great city of Malacca in 1511. My heroism led me to be badly wounded with a limp for the rest of my life. And so frickin' Manuel denied me recognition and rewards, so I walked away from Portugal. Anyway, I'm here on the Call Him Colonizer podcast to try to get a new sponsor to endorse my trip. I want to reach the Spice Islands by sailing westward.
Hello, I'm Manuel I of Portugal, or as you may know, Manuel the Fortunate. I rose to the Portuguese throne in 1495 after the death of my cousin, and I'm trying to spearhead Portugal to become Europe's new powerhouse.
Welcome back to Call Me Colonizer, the podcast where we sit down with Europe's most adventurous, and let's be honest, power-hungry explorers to hear their side of the story. Today's guest, Portuguese explorer Ferdinand Magellan, who's had a bit of a falling out with Portugal and is now knocking on Spain's door with a spicy new proposal. So, Magellan, what brings you here today?
Yeah, thanks for having me. So, I'm here to see if King Charles is interested in sponsoring a westward voyage to the Spice Islands. Portugal's got the eastern route locked down, but I've got a plan to reach the same riches without sailing around Africa. Think big, think bold, think west.
Oh, Charles, we know you're out here trying to build Spain into a glorious empire. Big shoes to fill, what with your grandparents being Ferdinand and Isabella and all. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, wing's been easy. I don't see what the fuss is about, but Magellan's got a point. Portugal's out here hoarding spices like they invented them. Spain needs its own boot, and if this works, it's a total game changer.
And let's not forget, this westward route wouldn't technically break the Treaty of Tordesillas, right? Since you'd be staying on your side of the globe.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking about the Tweety. Super into respecting Tweeties. Huge fan. But Willie, if Magellan's white, this could give us access to the Spice Islands. I like my food really hot, like when my mother adds black pepper to my pasta. Oh, what a tweet.
Well, this has been fun. So I will introduce another surprise guest to our podcast today. Everyone welcome the King of Portugal, Manuel.
Honestly, I was expecting a bit more respect, but I guess it's good to be here.
Oh, don't worry, it's all in good fun. So Manuel, let's talk about how you once felt when Magellan, a man you once employed, decided to take his idea of a westward route to the Spice Islands of Spain instead of asking for your support.
Well, to be frank, I don't care. Portugal already has a reliable route to the east. Why would we risk it all with some unproven shortcut through unknown waters? I mean, we're talking about sailing through the edge of the map. You'd be lucky if you found anything besides monsters and mutility.
I really don't care about your opinion. You accused me of illegally trading with the Moors during a campaign in Morocco. Then, when I requested compensation and a promotion, you flat out refused me. But, Spain gets me, though.
I mean, I've got this whole empire thing to run, so my advisors are all like, Spain needs to get its act together with Asia, and Magellan just walks in and is like, hey, I got an idea about sailing around the world. I thought, sure, let's try it, why not? But I like Magellan. I mean, he's got all these maps and charts and stuff.
If we sail west, we'll break Portugal's monopoly. That means spices for Spain. This will be a breakthrough. Because I'm kind of an expert at this thing. I'm 100% sure nothing will go wrong.
You've convinced me. The ships, the men, the other things. Just go out there and, come back with spices and stuff.
Hola! On today's episode, we're going back to a story from 3 years ago. It's time to find out what happened to Magellan's expedition. And we have a couple of returning guests, except Magellan. He died. But luckily, he was angry about dying, and his spirit was unable to pass on. Lucky for us, I guess.
I knew from the get-go that this was useless and you're an idiot. Glad I was proven right.
Not true. Though I did die in Lapu-Lapu, the Philippines, my ship, the Victoria, did make it back to Spain in 1522. And do you know what that means, Manuel? I was responsible for the first successful circumnavigation of the globe. I literally made history.
But you were dead though.
Yeah, I mean, Magellan did die, which was a little embarrassing for all of us, but hey, we still got the route. And now Spain is its main route.
Get a load
A
of this
little
guy.
dangerous, a little long, but hey, I did it. Grandpapa and Grandmama would be proud of my hard work.
Who's talking?
It was also super difficult. We sailed down the South American coast, and during my expedition, I faced mutinies, which was really mean, and starvation. No one tells you that starving on the open ocean is no fun.
You set off with 270 men and 5 ships and came back with 18 people on one ship.
That's terrible.
Yeah, well, that wasn't great, but hey, I made history. Plus, I found a narrow, dangerous passage between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. I named it the Strait of Magellan.
I would have preferred it to be called the Strait of Charles. I mean, I did back you, but it was me sailing. If it was me sailing those boats, then maybe they would have come back in one piece. But, send the Portuguese person out there.
All right, Magellan, we're dying to hear about your journey. So, let's start with some of the places you went and what happened while you were there.
Well, we kicked off in Spain, just getting ready for the long haul. But our first stop was the Canary Islands, and then we made it to Brazil and Argentina. And that was cool, I guess. But my crew was cold and miserable, and then they tried to have a mutiny. And following that incident, we kind of just kept moving, and then we hit the Strait of Magellan.
Strait of Charles! Strait of Charles, by the way.
The famous strait. And then you were at the Pacific Ocean, correct?
Yeah, the Pacific Ocean went on for months. No land, we ran out of food, rats, leather, ship biscuit. We were eating whatever we could find.
That was disgusting. I'm glad I had nothing to do with that.
Eventually, we made landfall in the Philippines. Finally, some land, right? That's what I was saying. But I got mixed up in their politics. Thought I could get a local chief to convert to Christianity. Turns out he wasn't too thrilled with that idea. And well, I didn't really make it out of that one.
Columbus would never let that happen.
But you never met him, right?
That's not the point. Did it, though. I mean, you didn't finish the trip, but you set the whole thing up, and I'll take credit for it, of course.
Right. Because the whole time was a disaster from the start. But hey, Magellan did a good job of getting everyone killed before the job was even done.
It wasn't perfect, but it was history. The spices and converting non-Christians to Christianity is all that really matters.
All right, folks, that's it for today. Join us next time when we dive into another legendary adventure, hopefully one with fewer mutinies. See you next time at PragerU.
Hi, I'm oh
Well, safe. No, I really want to do Magellan's head.
Oh my god, I'm crying.
you.